invariably at some point, more often than not, they will end up releasing adrenaline, cortisol, brain chemicals of that kind of level, which are released in the fight, flight, and freeze, which we'll talk about later. If too much of that is released and you don't balance it out, and you just go at the end, right away, open your eyes, whilst it's not going to have any particular long-term damage, they could end up feeling, I'm going to use the word depressed, down, when suddenly, things suddenly with a crash quickly kind of balance back to normal full alertness, consciousness. If you take time and drag that 0 to 10, waking them up count out, and my exact awakening, this might be the odd word out, so please don't put me up on it when you listen to the audio recording. You go, ha, I missed a couple of words, because I probably will do. But for therapy, it is along the lines of, in a few moments' time, I'm going to count from 1 to 10. And on the count of 10, and only on the count of 10, you will then be able to open your eyes at a speed that feels right for you. So on 1, everything I've said and suggested to you can happen, will happen, and will remain your reality from this moment forward. As on 2, with every breath you take, every noise you hear, every word I say, and every thought you think, it's just a sign and a signal that each minute of each hour of each day of each week, month and year from this moment forward, that these positive suggestions that have now become your new reality grow stronger, more positive and more beneficial for you in every way. As on 3, it's almost as though all the worries, stresses, tensions, fears and apprehensions of days, weeks, months and years gone by are leaving your mind and leaving your body right now. As on 4, it's almost as though every nerve, fibre, tissue and muscle in your body from the tips of your toes to the tips of your fingers is being washed with pure spring water, revitalised, re-energised. As on 5, it's as though somebody set the factory reset button inside your mind, inside your body, to one of just total perfection, so that everything that you once thought in the past may have been difficult has actually started to prove itself to be so ridiculously easy. As on 6 and 7, lighter and brighter, everything I said remaining with you, growing stronger. 8, normal sensibility starting to return to every area of your body. You can have a little bit of a stretch if you want. 9, lighter and brighter. On 10, at speed that feels right for you, just open your eyes. And you'll notice that kind of, even though their eyes are closed, when I used to be bothered about and take the time to actually do this, and certainly also when I made the recording, you would have seen me sat there, and as I'm going, it's almost like huge weights being lifted off your shoulders. As I said that, I'd be doing these actions and making the movement, because by doing that, it naturally makes your voice sound different and more enthusiastic. And that enthusiasm is infectious. They can pick up on it in your voice. Just as when you do it long, drawn out, as you lie there in that comfortable chair. Hypnotic induction process. It's long and drawn out. You'll actually hear me yawning quite a bit on the recording, because yawning's infectious, and you pretty much all started doing it. They will, and you know the beautiful thing, once they yawn once, even though it's got nothing to do with being tired, but it can be, but it isn't always. It can be to do with lack of oxygen and all this, that, and the other. It can just be that it's infectious when you see somebody yawn, but just hearing it's enough. They've got their eyes closed, but hearing that invariably people will yawn. And when they do, they consciously think, oh, I yawned, I must be getting tired, I must be going to sleep. And they think hypnosis is sleep. It isn't, but that's their preconceived idea. So if we can have them leave that room, and at the end of it, open their eyes and go, wow, I was well out of it. I was in the land of make-believe, the land of Zod. If they believe that that genuinely is what they just had experience of, then it will have fitted in, tied in, completely with the preconceived idea they're likely to have from TV shows and films. So unlike other therapy schools that will tell you to tell them, no, it's not like that, I say, rather than doing that, make that what does happen for them. Now, given that there's obviously a bit of a problem with that, because if hypnosis isn't people going to sleep, but that's what they think it is, how could we possibly have them at the end of the session open their eyes and go, wow, I was well out of it? That feels, that's... Well, a few things we can do are turn the heating up in the room, the consulting room that you hire. So it promotes them going to sleep, real sleep. Forget hypnosis for a moment. Real sleep. So we make sure there's blackout blinds. So there's just a very, you know, like you've seen on the films, it's the leather couch, yeah? And on the desk, they've got like the black bendable lamp, the shrink's got, yeah? You have one of them because it ties in with the film, stereotype image. All the other lights are off, so you've got a bit of light so you can see to read your script perhaps, or surf the internet, or whatever. And for them, therefore, the area of the room where they are, lying on the reclining couch, lying down, also, he's got an anchored response to going to sleep at night, lying down, and they are more likely to go to sleep lying down. Make sure it's comfortable. To be honest, the therapy room I use these days, there isn't a leather reclining. Well, there is actually. There is a leather reclining couch. It's the massage couch in one of the rooms. And I did consider using it, but I thought it's a massage couch. It's got potential suggestive connotations about it. So when I use that place, I use a garden lounger. You know, these real paddy comfies out there. That's laid out for them. Get them to lie on that. So it's dim. The heating's turned up. And if you want to know the whole lot, which you don't need to, but it does, in true serenity, the place I now use, it works because it doesn't cost me anything, because they've always got them lying around in the consulting rooms. They've got like, what do you call them, tea lights, the little candles, and the oil burner things, and I think it's lavender. Pretty certain it's lavender. Is it lavender?
It's most relaxing, yeah. Yes. Put in a child's bath.
Right, it's lavender then.
Chamomile as well, for relaxing.
Right. Basically, all I do is it's already in there. I just light it. But I know that on the bottles it tends to tell you what they're for. Have that as well, because then you're affecting the olfactory, the smell, the nose, the sense of smell. Olfactory. Can't say the bloody word. Olfactory.
Olfactory.
Thank you. Give that man a gold star. You're influencing them, their sense of smell. The fact it's warm, even though their eyes are closed, you could say is a sense of touch, they could then feel it. The music, which is it's stereotypical, arty-farty, winky-wanky, new age cobblers, but that's what people have seen in films, so let's stick with the misconceptions, okay? So the music is sound, we've got sound, smell, touch, and touch also because of the thing. We've already got conditioned responses of yawns is going to be connected to. We're having a break in a minute, it's okay, I'll stop talking about yawning then. But yawns are a conditioned response to sleep. Lying down are an anchored conditioned response to going to sleep at night. It being dark is a conditioned linked thing. Normally night time is dark when people go to sleep. And the rest of the stuff's conditioned response to what people think a hypnotist is. You put it all together and then bore them for a good 20 minutes. At some point during that 20 minutes of sheer boredom, they will go to sleep. Invariably, they will start snoring. Or if they don't snore, I found most people end up snoring. I didn't realise so many people snored. I thought it was just me. May not be as bad as I am, it could just be a little purr. But you will know you'll know for two reasons that they've gone to real sleep and they're not hypnotised. Because when you're arguably hypnotised, you don't snore. But if they're not snoring, when you're really hypnotised, you don't start to dribble. They'll either snore, start to dribble. Trust me, you will know they've gone to sleep, right? And that is what you're aiming for. It's what I'm always aiming for anyway. Now, you think that defeats the object. If they're asleep, they're not going to be able to pay any conscious attention to any of the stuff that you tell them, are they? So therefore, how the fecking hell can they take on board the suggestions that they no longer smoke, or that they're going to avoid sugary or fatty foods? Well, either A, and the honest answer is, nobody knows for sure. But some people argue that when you're asleep, some studies have been done on sleep learning that say you can learn languages while you're asleep. There's an equal number of studies being done that say that's complete utter cobblers. I don't know which of them is right. But maybe, just maybe, the reason this works is because once they go to a real sleep, at that point there's definitely no resistance to anything you're saying because, well, they're not aware consciously of anything you're saying. There's arguments out there that would say it goes directly into their unconscious mind. In which case, that is why it works. Brilliant, it's going into the unconscious mind. I personally think that it probably doesn't. And I personally think the fact is that when you wake them up at the end of the 53-minute script, and more often than not, either have to clap your hands very loudly or give them a gentle nudge on the shoulder because they don't immediately open their eyes due to the fact that they've gone to real sleep. I think the fact that they then open their eyes, and when they do, the second they do, I turn the lights back on. So it's a bit bright. So they're going to go, oh, bloody hell. If for no other reason than they've had their eyes closed for 53 minutes, and it was in a sense of darkness, because obviously, you know yourself, if you close your eyes in a room with no lights on, it feels different than if you close your eyes when there's lights on in the room. It's a different sensation. So it was dark, but the moment you say you're wide awake, you turn the lights on. It's a bit of a shock to the system, which adds to the feeling of, I was really out of it. They, because they're there to be hypnotised, perceive the fact of what they just felt as being hypnosis. The being out of it they've seen on films. And it does genuinely feel like they've been out of it. Often you will hear the comments, you know what, I can't remember much at all of what you said. No, you can't, because once you got bored, you fell asleep. But we don't tell them that. No, you were a wonderful subject. You went into a really good level of trance. And if they do say they can remember everything, it still doesn't matter. We just react as though that's normal and go, that's brilliant. You know, that's good. That tells me that this will work for you. Whatever they say is perfect. That's what always happens. And that tells me that this will work for you, just so long as you listen to the audio CD once every other day for the next 28 days, which is going to compound it. So you may ask, what is the bloody point of having such a finely honed script if we're basically going to bore them to death and they're going to go to sleep? Because they're not going to consciously hear it. Well, the point is that it still needs to be on the CD. Because even I am not audacious enough to challenge just giving them a CD with the boredom on to get them to go to sleep when they listen to it and hope that they don't, at some point, fast forward the CD to find out what's on it. At some point, curiosity, they are going to check what's on the CD. Or at some point, because they listen to it during the day and it's brighter, they're not going to go to sleep. And they're going to hear it on a conscious level. So at some point it will have a conscious amplified effect. But our aim, or my aim, and I suggest be your aim, is to make that consulting room as warm, as dark, as lay down comfortable as can be, so that they fall asleep. So that at the end, when you have to wake them up, they feel like they've been hypnotised. Because to them, their preconceived idea of hypnosis is that a hypnotist puts people to sleep.
Would you say, because my mum bought CDs from, I Can Help You Quit Smoking, and she always fell asleep when I was younger, and I always remember it. But would you say that it works a lot better in this sense because as they wake up, they see a therapist in front of them?
Yes.
It seals the deal.
You are the suggestion.
Yeah.
Then, a real human being, apparently paying them attention, because they don't know that in my case I'm just playing that, paying them this sincere attention at the table, it's what makes them feel loved, wanted, needed, appreciated, cared for and cherished. And seeing a person is obviously going to do that a damn sight better than just getting a CD on its own.
Because they just fell asleep and they felt like it didn't work because they woke up 3 hours later instead of 53 minutes.
Yeah. But then, when they go away, if they do, because you tell them, I always say to them, look, listen to it at night when you go to bed, and don't worry when he tells you you'll wake up, you can just ignore that, go to your normal sleep. And it's going to be dead easy for them to ignore that, because generally speaking, in sessions, I have to tap them on the shoulder to wake them up, because they didn't hear it because they've gone to sleep. So the ideal time for them to listen to the CD, and we say to them, the good thing about this is, it's designed that way to work better at night. Listen to it as you're going to sleep. Just allow yourself to go to sleep afterwards. Don't bother waking up. Because that way you don't have to find time in your busy daily schedule, do you? Just get some headphones and pop them under your pillow so you can play it at a level that only you can just about hear, and it won't disturb your wife or husband. Do that, set it going when you go to bed, you'll have a great night's sleep. Which invariably they will, because you've suggested they will, they believe in you, you're the authority figure. And at night time they're naturally more likely to be tired. And because you've told them that it's okay to go to sleep, you give them permission, they won't, and because it's night time and they were going to go to sleep, there isn't a chance of, as you say, it's a good point, them going to sleep and then not waking up for say an hour and a half and thinking, there's something not right about that. We get on, it's a very good point. So, 15-minute break, get your toilet, your cigarettes and all that, and then we'll break down CMTs. Apparently there's brews outside for free.